Okay, let's go.
So what are the steps involved in acquiring a property that's like vacant, it's blighted, it's in a rough neighborhood? You want to take it over. And the truth is, it doesn't even have to be in a rough neighborhood. It could be in an A-class market. It could be in a B-class market. It just needs to be blighted. So the first step is to identify eligible properties. If you wanted to go out and actually do this, this is more of a driving for dollars type of strategy, in my opinion. You could do it virtually, sitting back and using like Google Earth, but I would recommend just getting in your car or paying somebody to get in their car and drive around neighborhoods and find properties. There are some good apps for this. I think one is called, I want to say it's called Deal Machine, where you can drive around in your car and it's like an app that will track where you're driving and the properties you're driving by. You can just push a button and get the information on the property. But you want to go around and start identifying within your community. If you live in any of these communities or any of these states, if you're in New Jersey, if you're in Ohio, if you're in Maryland, if you're in Pennsylvania, if you're in any of those states, there's some more. I think Missouri's on there. There are a couple of more states like this. Start driving for dollars. Start driving around. Step 2 is gather evidence. So you need to start digging through L&I. You could also call in. License and inspection, L&I has a number no matter where you're at. So you can pick up the phone, call in, and check to see if there are any violations on the property or if there are any issues with it. If you're in a city like Philly, probably, Cleveland or any of these markets in Ohio, you're going to be able to see that information. It's all publicly available. So you want to start gathering evidence and documents on this property because that's going to be needed to support your legal case. Step 3, you want to file a petition with the court. This is where it starts to get legal. You're going to need legal representation. You're going to need a kick-ass real estate attorney who's done this before, I would recommend, versus even getting somebody cheap who's like, oh, I can figure it out. I can do it. You don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to drag time. It takes long enough to acquire a property like this, usually around 6 to 18 months. So it's a longer term strategy, but a very profitable one. But you're going to have to file that petition with the court. So all of this documentation is then going to be put to use. Number 4, there's going to be court review. So they're going to review your petition. And then there's going to be some type of a requirement to provide notice to the original owner or the current owner of the property. So you will have to provide notice. The owners will have the ability to redeem, but they would have to pay your court fees and for any rehab that you did to the property. So it's highly unlikely that they're going to come in behind your 50 to maybe 80K rehab, depending on the condition of the property, and try to acquire that. If they were going to do that, they would have just kept the house and done it themselves. Number 5, take over the property. So once you win the court case, you will now take over the property. You will be the conservator. So you will have the rights to rehab this property. There are ways to get debt out. So you can get lending, like 100% lending to finance the rehab of the property because you'll already own it and have the value of it to yourself. So you can get the money to finance rehab. That's going to be kind of a joke at that point. So take over that property, get it up to par. Because part of this court order, you're essentially stepping in and saying, look, this property sucks. It's in a blighted neighborhood. It's in bad condition. Give me the rights to it and I will improve it. So you're going to have to submit a rehab plan to the court and they're going to approve it. And then you need to deliver. You need to execute. You might say, hey, I'm going to have this thing back up to par in 6 months or 8 months or 12 months, whatever that is and whatever they approve. You just want to be able to deliver on it. So that's going to be your next step. And then step 6, you're either going to sell the property at the end. If you're a buy and flipper, you can mark this up and sell it. You can't get all of the profit selling it because in most cases, you sell it. Any excess funds that go above and beyond the developer concession, because you'll get like some fee, which is usually around 20% for a developer's fee for you doing this, would go to the estate or the original owner. It'd be like excess funds. So one of the better strategies is to petition the court to title you the property, to deed it over to you, as long as nobody's fighting you for it. And then they can deed that property over to your LLC. Once that happens, now you can kind of rent it and get financing and do whatever you want to it. So you're either going to sell or hold this as a rental. If I'm you, I'm holding this thing as a rental because I want long-term cash flow like all day.